Ladies and gentlemen, now it's Too Late with Alan Mosley.
Whoa.
Nuts.
Yeah. Isn't it weird that it sounds like the same people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time. Well,
Yeah.
it is, I think.
Maybe that's like an allegory for how we're deep down we're all the same.
Yeah. We're all one.
Yep. And we all watch this show.
We do. Through us.
No, we don't. Guys, welcome back for another episode of It's Too Late. I am your host, Alan Mosley, joined as always by the #1 producer in late night. It's Dave Willimowski. Dave! How are you doing?
Doing good. Yeah. A lot of work. Real busy around here.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're trying to put in a pool. I think I mentioned that. We're still working on that.
Yeah?
It's hard to do with an uneven little yard, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of work.
I'm looking
It's gonna
forward
be
to
worth it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I told you.
Can't wait.
Yeah, when the pool is ready, that's when I will appear. I'm like Excalibur like that.
Just wake up one morning and Alan's here.
Yeah, just jerk me out of the pool. You know what I'm saying? But Dave, did you get to do anything for Father's Day though?
Oh yeah, that was
Mhm.
last Sunday. I know I did something.
Wow.
I think I just kind of took it easy. You know what? I didn't have to do anything. They did everything for me. I came home, the lawn was mowed, Dave was doing some edging. The house was pretty clean. It was nice.
Mhm.
Trash was already out.
Wow. You know what?
Yeah.
That is actually a thoughtful Father's Day gift from broke children.
Oh
You
yeah,
don't have to go out and buy something. You can do something,
yeah,
Yeah.
that means a lot.
I like that. But for the people watching the show that do have money, I can tell you a fantastic gift idea. It's not too late. You can go and get your special dad a man grate.
Man graves are the perfect gift for Dad this Father's Day. Your dad's alive?
No.
Fuck. God damn it. I'm sorry about your dad.
That's fine.
All right. But at the same time, like, isn't it weird to you that like Juneteenth is in the same proximity on the calendar as Father's Day? Even though you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
But there was actually like 3 different holidays in the same span of time. This is a brand new one to me. There was also Autistic Pride Day. Have you seen
I
that
did
one?
not know that was a thing. No.
Yeah, there's
No.
Autistic Pride Day now because that's how they are. But you know what? Autistic Pride Day comes just in time for the Libertarian Festival of the Year, Pork Fest.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Pork Fest for when all the neckbeards need an excuse for why they don't shower. Yeah. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of the news making headlines tonight. Hey, how's this for a headline? Check out this right here, guys. Jewish teacher resigns after anti-Semitic harassment from 12-year-old student.
Wow.
Yeah. 12-year-old student apparently made some offensive, derogatory remarks towards this Jewish teacher, so he resigned. The New York Post actually obtained the hate mail and offensive cartoon that the student drew for the teacher. Take a look at this. This is not edited. This is actually the real one. So he drew that picture and he wrote that little message, which, by the way, this is 12, so this is the start of middle school. That's how middle schoolers are writing now, by the way, if you're wondering how the schools are doing.
How old?
12.
Well?
12.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know. He says no cap and man bun, and he says something about hating him, and then he went to a different teacher. I don't know. You can barely read. That's a 12-year-old. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Yeah. Morrison Robley, the 25-year-old former social studies teacher at Nesacus Regional Middle School in Dalton, Massachusetts, said he felt school administrators didn't do enough to punish the child in question and was concerned that, quote, if left unchecked, his hate would only fester. The next thing you know, he'll be talking about how all wars are bankers' wars, or saying Israel's an apartheid state, or posting hashtag Free Palestine, right? And besides all that, I want you to take a look at this picture. What I want to know is what is so anti-Semitic about NBA great Michael Jordan?
Oh.
Yeah. Right?
They really like that one.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, our favorite climate alarmist, Greta Thunberg, is back in the news. Do we have a picture of Greta Thunberg?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
all
my.
grown up.
Oh, come on.
That's wonderful. All grown up. Just right before our eyes. Today is a special occasion for the Swedish Downy kid. I want you to take a look at this tweet right here. 5 years ago today, she said, climate change will wipe out all of humanity unless we stop using fossil fuels over the next 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen,
no.
that was June 21st, 2018. It's 5 years. The end of the world as we know it. Dave, how did you celebrate the end of the world?
I didn't even know it was happening. I
Yeah,
worked.
I didn't even know the world was sick, right? Yeah.
No.
You know what's weird is I'm pretty sure I'm actually using way more fossil fuels right now than I was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Traveling. Oh, you are. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So if anything, we shouldn't have made it this long.
You're all over the place.
And yet here we are.
Hmm.
And finally this evening, we couldn't go without mentioning this. The nation is captivated by the story of the Titanic tourist submersible. Take a look right here. Developed by the aptly named Ocean Gate Company because they just knew they were going to be a part of a scandal, which is stranded approximately 3,800 meters beneath the waves with 5 people on board. But according to former U.S. Navy psychologist Dr. Justin DiRenzio, boy, if there was ever a name that was go back to where you came from, the toughest thing the stranded crew is having to deal with now, according to the psychologist, is mood swings. Yeah, take a look at that. Psychologist believes they're likely experiencing mood swings.
Oh, you think?
That's the toughest thing they have to deal with right now, Doctor?
Well,
mood swings? See, I would have thought that the toughest thing they were going through was death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah. But, some people say that they just can't bring themselves to joke about this whole ordeal too soon, fresh on everybody's night. And these are people's lives at stake.
That'd be right.
But don't you worry, folks. I'll dive to the deepest depths so that you don't have to.
Oh, no.
I'm really under pressure to perform here.
Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah, pressure.
We won't let this torpedo our evening, will we, Dave?
No, we're still going to do this.
The air has really gone out of this segment, hasn't it?
All right. Yeah, I think we're done.
All right. Guys, we're going to be back with the meme of the week and the viewer mail right after this commercial break. Don't go away. Welcome back to the show, everybody. You know what we forgot to do in that action-packed monologue? We didn't talk about Fox and Sons coffee, but we can't now because it's time for a different sponsor.
Yeah.
But I also recorded a commercial for Fox and Sons.
Yeah, so that counts.
That's the primo treatment. Not just anybody gets a
really
recorded commercial. Yeah. All right, let's see what our numbers are.
That's the important part.
Yeah. Time is precious, but truth is more precious than time. Ain't that a crock of shit?
Yeah, that's apples and oranges.
I'll tell you what, I'll keep lying and live, and you speak the truth and die. That's what that's. Your numbers are 18, 30, 45, 33, 20, and 6.
I don't like any of those numbers.
Yeah, I don't really care for it. What's your favorite number, Dave?
I'm gonna 42.
42?
Yeah.
Mine is 9.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You just feeling it?
Yeah.
Or is there a reason?
Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there is a reason, but that's just for me. I can't have people going around stealing my favorite number. So I don't want to hype it. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely after party material.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what was great about tonight's monologue is that we had Jew jokes and black jokes and handicap jokes. It was like the triple crown of Unemployable.
Yeah, that was a hat trick.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Hey Dave.
Yes, Alan.
What time is it?
It's time for meme of the week.
My coworkers are talking about racial politics. Guess I'll join in.
Oh,
I got fired.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
don't do that.
Yeah. You know, time to dust up the old resume. But we do have a bonus meme. Check out the bonus meme.
Oh, no.
Gee, I hope that lost submarine has enough oxygen. The submarine. Oh, no, Dave.
Oh, no. There it goes. All over now.
If there was ever a time for a laugh react button, that was
Okay,
it. But it's too
yeah, I'm
late
sorry,
now.
I
It's over.
I
No,
was I
no.
was in shock.
You know, you might as well, because you're going down with the ship now, buddy. kind of like,
Yeah, you
kind of like,
warned
you
me.
know, kind of like. Never mind. You
I can tell.
You don't even listen.
I know what
Um,
you're saying.
But let me tell you about one of tonight's sponsors. It's the Tennessee Hot Sauce Company. Danny's going to love that we do. That's not even the right ad. What are you doing? What the hell was that? That's the Fox and Sons. Well, hey, you know what? We'll just do Fox and Sons then.
Yeah,
Fuck
let's do
off,
that.
Danny. We're doing Fox and Sons. Let me tell you about Fox. To tell you about Fox and Sons. I actually have the Den Blend Light right here. Can we get a shot of that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just I said I wasn't going to do this week.
Don't do it. There's still beans everywhere.
There is actually. All right, I'm not gonna do it. Let me tell you about this. Its origin is in Latin America. Like this.
Oh.
Yeah, the Den Blend Light Roast is light and bright. Grind coarse, bloom, steep for 4 minutes. Not more or less than 4 minutes, or the coffee will die.
Oh no.
Don't be scared. It says that, right? It says don't be scared.
Well, after
you
reading the
guys have
coffee,
bags now, so you know that I haven't been bullshitting this whole time. It says don't be scared.
No, yeah, it's on there. Don't
Yeah.
be scared.
Yeah. Steep and chill overnight in a French press for a cold brew. You ever do the cold brew, Dave?
I think Mary did. Yeah.
Oh, how? Well, she'll have to tell us how that was in the after party.
Yeah.
When I tell everyone why 9's my favorite number. We'll have her come in right after that, so she doesn't know what she's being booed and hissed at for. All right, let's go ahead and answer some viewer mail. Oh, Jesus Christ! Time for that part of the show where Alan answers viewer mail questions from handfuls of viewers.
I have this text somewhere.
Yeah,
I always want to shut it off for
Yeah. Well, remember when we did an Amazon gift card giveaway?
Yeah.
And you guys were the winners.
Yep.
Yeah.
I took the time.
Yeah, you did it. Was it worth it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
All right. That's what life is about.
Mhm.
All right. Patricia Marie writes, Dear Alan and Dave, did your employers observe Juneteenth? Dave, did you guys observe Juneteenth at your place of work?
No, we didn't. I didn't know it was happening, as with most of these littler holidays where it's just the memes came out and I'm like, oh, that's today. Cool.
Oh,
I mean,
so
it's-
they're
yeah.
just insignificant to you, huh?
No, I forget most things, and that falls amongst most things.
No, I went to work on Monday.
Yeah.
Because that's what our people do, is they go to work. Aaron Kittner writes, Dear Alan and Dave, if you could have a lifetime supply of one single thing, what would it be? Dave, lifetime supply of one
Oh
thing,
my
what
gosh.
would it be?
You know, I read this and I forgot to think of something. Toilet paper. Just because you're always gonna. Oh wait, if I had a bidet, I wouldn't need that. There's got to be something better.
Wow.
Gasoline.
Okay. No.
Unless I get an electric car.
You know how the monkey's paw works. You said toilet paper first, so the
Okay, I'm
finger
getting
went,
toilet paper.
"Er,"
That's
and
fine.
now you've got toilet paper out the
That's
ass, which is ironic.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying gasoline because if Jesus, man, I'm losing my shirt on gasoline right now.
Well, you know what? I went to Lowe's today and I was looking at some push lawnmowers because mine's starting to fall apart. I've had it for over a decade or so,
Mhm.
and they don't have many gas-powered push mowers anymore. They're all electric, and they're not like you're dragging the cord around like the old school. They're battery-powered. Like you got to charge it.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, is this where we're going with this stuff?
Yeah. You know what? There people might not be aware that this actually isn't a world famous TV show that we do here, but there's subtle hints, such as the cast of the show use push mowers to mow their yards.
Huh. I
Yeah.
don't have that zero radius turn fancy stuff.
That you watch
Big
the
stars have.
Mexican use. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, while you sip on your lemonade. Yeah. Jonathan Carranza writes, Dear Alan and Dave, what is your favorite video game of all time? Dave, favorite video game all time?
I'm gonna say Zelda 2, the Legend. Is it Legend Link?
The
Whatever,
Adventures
Link,
of
the
Link.
Link one. Adventures of Link. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one is like my favorite. Yeah, thinking back.
Wow. That's a
Not
really
current, but past. Yeah.
that's a really interesting answer.
Yeah.
I'm pleasantly surprised by that. Because everyone
that's
I
fun.
know of people who are Zelda fans think that game is like the black sheep. They don't like it because it tried to do a lot. It changed the formula from the original Zelda to Zelda 2.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. I could play that game right now, and I remember where all the items are and everything. Yeah.
I don't know if I know how to get the hammer. That was tricky.
I could literally play that game right now and be done in an hour and a half because I know where all the items are and I know the path through all the palaces. It's in here. This is why I don't sleep. All right, I'm just running the palaces just in case. Just in case. Dragon Warrior 4 on the NES. We both picked
4.
NES games. How about that?
See, my second was Dragon Warrior 2, I think.
Dragon Warrior 2 is big gay. No thanks.
Really?
There's too many problems
Wow.
with it. It was literally broken. Like the Japanese version of the game was fixed, and the American version of the game was like, "Take this, Yankees," and they just.
I have to make sure that's the one I'm thinking of, but I'm pretty sure it was Dragon Warrior 2. Maybe because that's the only Dragon Warrior I had as a.
Dragon Warrior 2 is the one where the Prince of Maidenhall is the hero, but he doesn't have any spells, and then you have Kanek, which is the guy in green, and then he has some spells, and then you have the Princess of Moonbrook that is a spellcaster. It's a 3-person cast. That's Dragon Warrior 2. I'm a big fucking nerd. In case
Which
you
one
didn't-
is you? I swear I was just running around by myself.
That's Dragon Warrior 1. Is you're just the one guy.
Maybe that's what it was.
That's just Dragon. It's just a grind fest. Like it's the OG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the one I'm thinking of then.
Yeah. There's people. See, Ryan's arguing with me. It was broken in the U.S. release. So the final boss had heal all, and he could heal himself to full. And also, your people had
That ain't
level caps where you could literally go to the max level and still wipe at the end of the game because you literally could not get any stronger. They unintentionally made the side characters weaker than they were intended to be, and then they gave the final boss a heal all spell that he could just randomly heal himself to full. You're sitting there beating on the final boss, you're one hit from winning, full health, and he has infinite magic. So it's just an RNG fest. They fixed the game in other releases. Don't you ever challenge me on this subject matter ever again.
I love
All
the
right.
chat right now.
Yeah, I know. It's about to get hot in here. All right. Josh Wright writes, Dear Alan and Dave, if you were selected to make first contact with an alien species, someone's been watching the Liberty Late Night Movie Night. What is the first thing you would tell them about humanity? What's the first thing you would tell aliens about humanity?
Man, I don't know. We're trying, but there's a few bad people that are making it real bad here.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, it's
So if you wanna,
we're too much on the same wavelength tonight that we're not actually giving interesting answers, because my answer was going to be that I just want you to know up front that I actually don't represent everyone.
yeah.
Yeah, like yeah. Like those people over there who, do those things, like they're not with me.
No.
Yeah.
Trying to get by here.
Yeah. Gary Dykstra writes, Dear Alan and Dave, what's been your favorite tier list so far? What's been
Oh.
your favorite tier list so far that we've done?
Now you're gonna make me try to remember all the tier lists we did. I mean, the Halloween candy was epic.
Yeah.
the marathon tier list.
The
Yeah.
the remaster of that one was better. Yeah.
Oh, the 5-hour.
No, the first one was the long one. Then we did a remaster of it, and it was way better.
Oh yeah. We
Yeah.
banged through it.
I have to say the jelly beans because we had the jelly beans.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah. We have some really good tier list ideas coming up, but one of the problems that we have with our tier list is we've gotten some amazing suggestions from the audience, but they keep on suggesting us tier lists that actually cost us hundreds of dollars. So if we raise the money, so we've got to do the Little Debbie tier list, and we have to do the Taco Bell tier list. So when
I'm pumped about the Taco Bell tier
yeah,
list.
so between you and me, I think that the Taco Bell tier list is the one me and Dave are emotionally prepared for. But I think didn't we figure out what it was? It was gonna it was basically gonna be like a couple $100 for you and me to just take the DoorDash menu and get one of each of the regular menu or something like that.
And I'll tell you what, like normally those little things, they just take a bite and then tell you what they think. I'm gonna finish every single thing.
Oh no, waste not, want
nothing's
not.
going to waste.
Yeah,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. It's gonna be painful. At least I don't have to drink Pepsi.
Man,
Yeah. Andrew Avery writes, "Dear Alan and Dave, does the average person have one breast and one testicle?" No. Nope.
It's going to be a fraction.
Yeah, so the average person doesn't have one breast and one testicle.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yep.
Yep.
And explain it.
So not only do they not, but in today's world, the ratio is even getting further.
It's getting weird.
Yeah. So no, Andrew. Brian Johnson writes, "Dear Alan and Dave, why are public restrooms so disgusting? Is it just a few bad apples, or are most people just that gross?" You know what? Actually, so I've worked for the public at a number of different jobs before in the past, and I got to tell you, I actually think people are just that gross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's that, and it's the tragedy of the commons. Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Go on.
No,
yeah.
They don't own it. It's just like a rental car or a taxi or anything like that. They don't own it, so they don't care. They don't take care of it. It's not theirs, and that's why we can't be dirty commies.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and then because you know what happens is that so when the one person comes in and doesn't put the seat up, then other people are like, "Well, I'm not going to touch the seat now."
Yeah.
You know, and then it's
I'll just pee on it too. Yeah.
And the next thing you know, the entire swimming pool is urine, just like that. Just like that.
Like where I work, some people will go in and just not lift the seat, and they're shy boys, so they're going in the stall to go pee, and then they'll pee on the seat, and then they don't want to get their hands dirty, so they'll hit the flusher with their foot, with their dirty boot, which is covered in just grime from the shop, so I can't touch anything in there, and then I rage out, and then I have to sit quietly and push it down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tell us more about these shy boys.
Oh, the shy boys, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the shy boys, they pee in the stalls because they don't want to be, out at the urinals where somebody might see them. I always make sure I compliment them if I see them in the stall. I'd be like, "No, you look okay, man. You can come out here."
All right. The list of content for the after party is starting to get pretty long. So we better move on from that one. Keith McQuarrie writes, "Dear Alan and Dave, have you watched any good Have you watched any good documentaries lately?" Have you watched any good documentaries lately?
Documentaries.
Yeah, you're asking this guy.
No, I would like to watch more documentaries, but nobody in the house wants to. Like, I'd love to watch some old war documentaries, because now I'm at that age where history is fascinating to me.
Yeah, that's part of your personality now. Yeah.
But I think that the best, or the most recent one, there's something on Netflix where it's like this chick is like talking about things on Earth, but she's just totally ridiculous, and she'll interview people and ask the stupidest questions, and I think it's supposed to be a comedy, but it is a documentary, and we watched like a half hour of that, and that was all anybody could handle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm trying to remember what the most recent documentary I watched was.
Mhm.
And I don't think I can even remember. I tell you what, I actually did start digging into. I got an email from our friend Scott Horton the other day,
Oh.
and he had said, "Hey, I put together this giant compendium. It's this one produced like podcast episode, and what it is, it's a collection of all of my interviews and chats with all of these experts talking about Waco, talking about the
Oh.
Branch Davidians, and everybody's on there. Survivors are on there, experts, eyewitnesses, some former guests on this show like Jim Bovard is on there, and I started digging into it because it's 12 hours long. It's 12 hours long, and which, if you know Scott Horton, you're like, that's modest, frankly.
Yeah, he's got some content.
Yeah. And actually, honest to God, I'm like 5 hours in, and it's actually pretty riveting. It's like,
Where can we see that?
Yeah, actually, you know what? I'll share that link in the after party too. I shared it on Twitter, but God knows nobody likes or shares anything I post, so that's why no one. This is the first time you're hearing about it.
It's my secret public journal.
But yeah, I'll share that in the after party too. It's actually quite good.
I bet.
Let's see. Ryan Seifert writes, "Dear Alan and Dave, would you rather get stung by a bee every day or sit through an hour of transgender sensitivity training every day?" But am I on the clock?
Oh.
Like if I'm getting paid, I can take a nap.
Yeah.
But
even awake, I can space. I'm really good at that. Just space out.
Yeah. I mean, I guess technically you could still be on the clock for the bee sting, but that's like it's over and done with type thing. Whereas I don't think it's going to be an hour's worth the bee sting. I tell you what, Ryan, if it's a bee stinging you for an hour, I'm going to go with the sensitivity training. But if I'm not getting paid for that, then I'll go with the bee sting.
Oh, okay.
Bee stings aren't bad.
I mean, they itch for like a couple days.
See, you got to be like me and just not feel.
It starts stacking up.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Bees sting me. I don't even know what happened. Yeah.
Okay.
I just see the dead bee with his intestines hanging out, and I say, "Yep, Fafo, didn't you?"
Was it worth it?
Yep. Now you're asking the bee what I was asking you in the last segment. It was worth it or not. Jay Forte says wasp stings hurt more. Wasp stings do hurt more, but it's because a bee will sting you. It will come. I was going to say it will come upon you, but boy, it will land on you, and then it'll say, "Take this, infidel," and it'll take its stinger and it'll sting you, and then it'll say, "I'll see you in hell," and then it dies too. But wasps don't do that. Wasps wasps have to be from Japan, because these because right? They kamikaze dive. Like when a wasp stings you, it feels like someone actually broke a 2x4 over your back. Doesn't it though? Because you're like, how does this thing here it is. How does this thing that's like the size of half of this fortune cookie actually ram into me with so much force that I can feel it like that? It weighs like less than an ounce, and it actually feels like someone went, you're Jesus. No.
Yeah, I can't remember if I've ever been stung by a wasp. I know I've gotten bee stings.
Oh, we can fix that.
Oh, good. There's a show idea.
Yeah, we'll do the sting tier list.
Who's gonna buy the insects for us? Or for me?
Next to you goes way higher up than Roxanne. And finally this evening, Marilyn Wilimowski writes, "Dear Alan and Dave, today is the first day of summer. What did you do today?" Well, I think Dave already told us most of what he did today, but did you first of all, I didn't even know today was the first day of summer.
Oh, I knew that. I saw a lot. There's posts and people telling me.
Oh, okay.
Somebody in chat at the beginning of the show.
Okay.
Actually said that.
So was that like motivation for all the work you got done?
No, I just want a pool.
Because it's summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting hot. We got to get this thing up.
How's your environmental awareness going? I recall you being down in Tennessee, and then when the temperature went from surface of the sun to the outer limits of hell, you were like, "Oh, this feels nice."
I've gotten reacclimated to my climate here, and
Oh.
it got up to like 78. I'm just done with that. That's unacceptable.
78. Jesus.
I don't like it.
Actually, the weather here's been great. But anyway, what did I do I went to work. I wrote a fantastic monologue.
You did.
I certainly won't be getting any calls from HR tomorrow morning. Yeah, Brian says 78 is cool. Exactly. Better take a jacket with you on your way out the door for 78.
Stop wearing shoes.
And then I got on here to talk to my internet friends.
Huh.
That's it. That's what I did for this first day of summer.
The people in our head.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Actually, all that chat movement you see over there is actually bots.
Yep.
Yeah. This is Chat GPT.
It's just for us.
Yeah. You got on chat because I know you've been talking. You've been talking. And you asked Chat GPT, write me about a couple of hundred comments for a live podcast. And then you just Yep.
Like 20 different people.
Yeah, and this is how you can tell they're fake because they're talking about just because it's random bullshit, right? They're talking about stings, and then they're talking about music, and now they're talking about the weather. Like, yeah, that's how you tell it's all BS. None of these people are real, Dave. None of them. All right, guys, what are we talking about in the next segment? Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about Hunter Biden getting a slap on the wrist right after this commercial break. Don't go away. Need some help? Your ad could be playing right now, reaching thousands of potential customers. Sadly, it's not, but it could be. Find out how to be an advertised sponsor for It's Too Late with Alan Mosley. Email us at info@alanmosley.tv. That was too good.
Was that right?
No, that was too good. We can't have that. People have grown accustomed to a certain level of jank on this program, and you have to be bad at your job. Otherwise, this doesn't work. I wonder what Blake's up to. Yeah. All right. So anyway, you guys have probably seen the memes, so you're familiar with the Hunter Biden news from this week. Got a little bit of a slap on the wrist because of between the laptop and all the videos and pictures, all the evidence leading to his shady dealings and money laundering, business in Ukraine, which just so happens to be in a bit of an international situation right now. His crappy paint prints selling for millions of dollars, stuff that Tucker Carlson on his new Twitter show actually talked a little bit about. I mean, you want to talk about where there's smoke, there's a fire. Nobody tokes as much as Hunter Biden. And yet, what he ends up getting it off on is a couple of misdemeanor charges related to essentially tax evasion, but no jail time. And just to sweeten the deal, because that's what you do when you're the prosecutor, you sweeten the deal for the defendant. Mm-hmm. Just to sweeten the deal, they threw out a charge, a gun charge related to where he had lied on a gun registry because he had drug offenses, and of course, obviously, we're against gun control laws on this program. But the fact of the matter is the laws exist. And if you or I literally walked into a gun shop with a fucking meth pipe sticking out of the side of our mouth and said, hey, I need that gun, you can trust me, you'd go to prison. Yeah. You would go to prison. Yeah. They actually threw that charge, just threw it out.
Yeah.
Just toss that one out. Some people, the internet's a beautiful place. Some people were drawing the comparisons to Wesley Snipes. Remember Wesley Snipes and the trouble he got into with his whole tax situation? He had not paid taxes on some amount of money he had made in his acting career. And he ended up getting a couple of years, I think. It was like 18 months or 2 years in prison for tax evasion. Essentially the exact same things that Hunter Biden. Now, these are the charges they actually stuck him on, not the ones they just threw out. And Hunter Biden pled guilty. I mean, this wasn't even contested. No jail time. Slap on the wrist. We'll throw out the charges that have any meat to them. But there's a few things that I hope people can walk away with from this whole situation. Is one, this is it. It's over for him now. The slate is wiped clean. What I mean by that is not only is he not going to jail for the things he pled guilty to, and not only did they throw out any charges that had any teeth to them at all, but they've, for all intents and purposes, have ended their investigation of him. Despite the fact that we literally have in the public sphere just mountains of evidence of criminal wrongdoing on his part. And if you or I were tied even one iota to the millions of dollars being laundered in Eastern Europe through him via the Biden family, you or I would go to prison. If they didn't have us dead to rights today, your house would be crawling with feds right now.
Yep.
I want to remind you, do you remember the whole deal with Trump just recently when they finally indicted him? Remember the wall-to-wall CNN coverage, the breaking news, the cameras on the scene, him walking into the courthouse? The name is escaping me right now, but remember in recent months, in similar situations where they would have the midnight raids, they always want to make sure they get a shot of the perp in handcuffs. Like, look, we got him. He's in handcuffs. You think they did any of that for Hunter Biden?
Oh, wait.
I don't remember any coverage like that about Hunter Biden. I mean, of course, if you were getting your news strictly from mainstream media, you might not have even known it happened because it was in and then it was out. And the story's over.
I did not know it happened. No.
Just like that, the story's over. You would have never known. Also want to remind people, we know justice is not blind. There's the whole Lady Justice with the blindfold and the scale. We all know that that's bullshit. And we've always known that it's always been bullshit. It didn't become bullshit today. It didn't become bullshit under the Biden administration. It's always been that way. Because justice is not blind, and we absolutely know, no matter how many times politicians like to say that, well, no one's above the law. That's what they were saying about Donald Trump, right? Is that, well, no one's above the law, and so we're going to go after him for X, Y, and Z. I can actually name a bunch of people that are above the law. Their names are Clinton, Bush, Obama, Cheney, Pelosi, Schiff, McConnell, Graham. I mean, you can go on down the list if you just want to start naming other presidents and other House and Senate majority leaders. Pence, there's a good one. Pence. Yeah, I could think of a lot of people that are above the law. So it's ridiculous to say that that's not true. And so, of course, the biggest mistake that you or I or Wesley Snipes could make is that we're not a part of the Biden family or any of those other families I just named. Because if we were, then it wouldn't be a problem. Fauci, there's another good. Now, that's what chat's going to do now. While I'm trying to wrap up my point, is they're just going to keep on. They're like, oh, can you think of another one? Yeah, that's good. Keith, Fauci, yes, that's a good. Yeah, I'm writing them on the back. I'm the teacher. I'm writing them on the blackboard back here. Any other names? Yeah. But a couple other things that are my takeaways, because this has already been run into the ground at this point, is this is the end of the story. And the whole Biden laptop thing reminded me of the Epstein client list thing. And I'll tell you why those are connected. I don't even have to wonder what would happen if the Biden laptop went viral, because it did. And you know what came of it? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And so this is something I've been asking people here more recently, because I think it's I think it's a good question to gauge where people are in terms of just how awake they are. I hate that the term woke has become a leftist term, by the way, because woke used to be anti-establishment, and you understood that the government is full of pedophiles and monsters. Now woke means rip your dick off and call yourself Sue. But I've been asking people now, what do you think would happen to the people on the Epstein client list if it were leaked? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it's weird to me at this point that people would think otherwise. Because you think, say there's some random celebrity's name on the Epstein client list, like Tom Hanks is on the Epstein client list. People who like Tom Hanks will say, oh, well, then that's how we know the list is bunk. I mean, who even leaked it anyway? They'll get like if you or I leaked it, we'd get the Julian Assange treatment, right? It'd be like, oh yeah, well look at these guys are crackpots and where did they even get that list from? They probably stole it, so they should just go to prison for the rest of their lives. They would attack you. They wouldn't attack the list or the names on it. They certainly wouldn't hold those people accountable. They'd come after you. We have tons of evidence to prove that that's what would happen. The whistleblower would go down for it, and the people on the list, it would just be memory hold. Because it's happened so many times before. Same thing for a random politician. If some random politician, right or left wing, Bill Clinton or Donald Trump, because frankly, they both were associates of Jeffrey Epstein. Like everyone's seen the pictures, right? We've all seen the pictures of people on both sides of the political spectrum rubbing elbows with Jeffrey Epstein. So we know these motherfuckers were on the list. If the list linked and those names were on it, you know what would happen? All the right-wingers would say, well, there you go. There's Bill Clinton. We knew that. He's a child rapist. He should go to jail. And all the left-wingers would say, no, that list is BS. We know Bill said he didn't, and that's all I need to hear. But Donald Trump's on the list. Well, we know, of course, Donald Trump has no integrity, so when he's on the list, it must be true. When our guy's on the list, of course, it's not true. And all of that would amount to what? Nothing.
No. Yep.
And not only would people being divided about it mean that nothing happens, but and I really can't stress this enough, these people don't answer to you. These people don't answer to you. So when I see people now, and I know that a lot of people are just sharing memes and laughing and joking, and I understand people need to have vessels through which they can channel their rage. Like people like Dave and I, we just swallow ours down and we're going to die in our early 50s.
Crush it.
But a lot of people, they need to have a way to channel their anger. And so they think, oh gosh, if that Epstein client list comes out, I just can't wait for these people to get what's coming to them. And so I asked them just matter-of-factly, okay, but if I told you absolutely nothing would happen, what would you do about it? Unless you're going to find every single person on that list, drag them out in the street, and blow their brains out on national television, you know what's going to happen to them? Nothing. They don't answer to you. They do not answer to you. I hate to be so depressing about it, but that's just how it is.
No, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, remember Nancy Pelosi's husband, that whole deal where he was like,
oh, what happened with that? Yeah.
Well, yeah. So first of all, it's just gone, right? It's just gone. Yeah.
That was weird. Anyways.
Yeah. Like people can literally watch this guy having gigolos show up to his house and having sexy parties. And one thing, one jilted lover leads to another hammer. And just instantly, everyone talking about it in a derogatory way is cast as a misinformation agent, probably working for the Russians. And everyone else is like, oh, thoughts and prayers to Mr. Pelosi. What? No. What? These people are like, it's the same thing as like visual evidence. Like, how many times have you seen a video or a picture of police brutality and then seen in the comments, well, we don't know what happened before the video started. They got a tough job. They're just trying to get home to their family. How many times have you heard that crap? Because these people, it reminds me just now, I don't know why this popped in my head, but I remember talking to a friend of mine. This would have been years ago. And it was right in that era of, it was like the dawn of police body cameras. And it was, so this would have been like maybe the early 2010s, late 2000s, when that was the big political push. Make all the cops wear body cameras. And we're pretty much there. We're pretty much there. Two problems. One, what changed? Nothing. Nothing changed. Nothing at all. And two, I'll always remember my friends saying this. They predicted that nothing would change because they said, if cops wear body cameras and you have literal visual proof of things happening, it will be excused away in exactly the same way as if there was no video. The people who don't want to believe it will not believe what their own eyes tell them. And the people who do believe it already knew how it was. They already knew how crooked the system was. And in any event, they don't answer to you. I don't think it was Scott Horton. It might have been Michael Bolton, but I know Scott Horton writes all the time talking about, here's an instance of police brutality. Like, here's 50 eyewitness accounts of, well, they just shot that little girl in cold blood. Desk duty for 2 weeks. Give them a medal. Here's your pension. They don't answer to you. And so if the random beat cop doesn't answer to you, do you honestly think the people who run the world answer to you? No. So all I would say is whether it's Hunter Biden or Epstein client list or any of these other things, don't let your blood pressure get too high about this stuff. That's probably one of the biggest changes I've had in the last 10 years is I just don't let myself get too worked up anymore over socio-political news, because I know at the end of the day, there's nothing I can do about it. They don't answer to me. Even if the whole world saw it happen, again, unless you're willing to go take matters into your own hands, nothing's going to happen to them. And frankly, if you even so much as suggested you would, then you'd get got first. We just know this. It's just a fact. So that's why you should just focus on yourself and making positive changes in the areas that you can, because Nirvana is not for this world. Look, if there's anybody that loves a good revenge tale, it's me. But they're just stories. It's not real. It's not real life. I don't know. The more religious people in the audience, because you know me, the more religious people in the audience are going to have to believe that those people get theirs later, right?
That's all I got.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of all, that's all I got too. Guys, we're going to be back with more of what the hell is this show? I got to do the transitions now because Dave broke the show. I'm calling you out. Wait.
I can do it.
Wait, did Dave break the show? Correct. I actually just did that to see what scene we're in. Guys, we're going to be back to talk a little bit about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in comparisons to Donald Trump right after this commercial break. Don't go away. It's Too Late with Alan Mosley is proudly supported by Fox & Sons Coffee. Fans of It's Too Late use code ITL and receive 18% off orders of $25 or more. Shipping's always free on orders over $37.99. To get yours today at their website, which is www.foxandsons.com. It's www.foxandsons.com. I know. Look at Aaron. What? A fourth segment?
Yeah.
Speaking of, let me tell you about tonight's other sponsor, which is the Tennessee Hot Sauce Company. Hey, we're back, Danny.
There it is.
We made it. We made it, baby. All right. It's the Tennessee Hot Sauce Company, which you can find at tnhotsauceco.com. If you use promo code It's Too Late, all one word, It's Too Late, you get, I don't know, something. 10. Yep, 10% off.
Yep.
Danny don't give a shit. It's 10% off your order. I actually have with me the Poblano Jalapeno. Can we get a shot of that right there? The Poblano
I love that bottle. That's my favorite bottle.
Yeah, this is a nice one. And if you look right here, it's actually quite personable.
Is that the one you drank last time? No.
No, this one isn't even opened. I was going to wait to smash this one and stab someone with the bottle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
save that.
Well, because okay, real talk real quick. So it's a green mixture, and I thought it would be cool if people thought I killed an alien.
Oh yeah, the green blood.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the Tennessee Hot Sauce Company, which you can find.
It's good hot sauce.
Tea and hot. It actually is good. I feel so bad that we do what Tea and Hot Sauce Co. .com promo code. It's too late. I bet I would like this one actually, but it's got a purpose, Yep. Saving that one for a rainy day. Might make their wound burn, says Brian. That's the least of their problems, I would think. If the hot sauce were hot enough, it would cauterize it. Isn't that how that works? Yeah. Anyway, the inspiration for our last little bit here is I actually saw a conversation between some of my friends online, and it got a little bit heated, I have to say. Got a little heated. And the topic of the conversation, really the base topic was strategic voting. That's really what the topic was. But it got there because they were talking about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Of course, as we know, RFK Jr. is running for president. Which means the CIA is going to be done with him pretty soon. They're probably going to make him look like an alien. And he's given some speeches lately, and I know he says a lot of good things when it comes to being anti-war, though he loves Israel. So
war, a lot of war.
Yeah, a lot of war. And of course, the big thing for him is he's really against the current medical establishment dogma. Being against the lockdowns and the mandates and talking about, we've got to have some conversations about holding people responsible for these terrible public policy, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. Funny enough, compare that to Donald Trump, who to this day is still giving speeches at MAGA rallies, patting himself on the back for how he handled the situation and telling everyone they should go get the vaccine. I don't know if you saw that or not. He was actually at a rally just this past week where he was telling everyone to go get vaccinated, and he got booed. The crowd of MAGA cultists, mind you, were booing the man at his own rally because he's sitting there saying everyone should go get vaccinated. Because he hasn't learned anything at all. He hasn't learned anything. And so that's one area in particular that Robert F. Kennedy is way better on and good for him. But that wasn't really the disagreement. The disagreement wasn't, in a vacuum, is Robert F. Kennedy better than Joe Biden? Now, a cynical person, not anyone like me, but a cynical person would say that, well, he's already pledged his allegiance to Israel, so I don't think he's going to be a whole lot better than you think he would be on foreign policy. And sure, I like the things he says about the medical establishment, but at the end of the day, you can't just say these people made mistakes, something ought to be done so we don't make those mistakes again. Because at the end of the day, he himself would tell you he's a reform candidate. We've had reform candidates. You know what happens? Spoiler from last segment. Nothing. Nothing happens. That's a beautiful thing about a bureaucracy. Of course, I like to talk about Leviathan sometimes on the show, and I always use, this is my quote. I say this all the time, and when it came up, Leviathan's not interested in reform. Leviathan is not interested in change. Every bureaucracy of any size, its number one goal, it doesn't matter what its stated goal is. I don't care if its stated goal is to raise money for a winery. It doesn't give a shit what its stated goal is. Its number one goal is always its own self-preservation and growth. That is true of every bureaucracy. That is true of every government. Its own self-preservation comes first, and growth as a 1A and 1B. Everything else is a much distant second to that. So as much as I'm happy that he says things that are better on balance than Joe Biden, which frankly, I can barely understand what Joe Biden is saying at all. So, but the point being is that at the end of the day, he touts himself as a reform candidate. You know what? I believe him. I believe that he believes that. It's kind of where I'm at.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that in his own mind, he thinks that if I get elected president, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to fire a bunch of these bad actors and I'm going to bring in better people and we're going to clean up this mess, and then we're going to have a better FDA and we're going to have a better homeland and we're going to have a better everything. Leviathan's not interested in that. And one of two things will inevitably happen. Is one, he'll attempt to do that and fall short. Or two, the moment he's out the door, by any means, they just go right back. Yeah. It reminds me of like the argument for term limits. There's a lot of people out there that think, well, we have all these terrible old politicians in Washington who have been there. You think of the Pelosi's and the Mitch McConnells. They've been there forever. We got to get rid of these guys. Well, if we had term limits, they wouldn't have kept their jobs for 40 years. All of that is predicated on the idea that there's not someone waiting in the wings to pick up right where they left off. It's a big club and you ain't in it, you know, the old George Carlin quote. Nope. There's plenty of people ready to take over where those people leave off. And so when you're talking about reform, and I've said this before too, anytime I hear any candidate say, I'm for reform of, I've already turned my ears off. Because we don't need to reform these institutions. We need to burn them to the ground and salt the earth. That's the only way. It's the only way. So I guess I would end that point with, okay, so RFK, is he better than Biden? Sure. Is he better than Trump? Yes. Jesus, Trump's not going to win anyway, by the way, so don't even worry about him either. I'll make my official predictions some other time, but I think I've already done that. But the case in point is, I understand you if you vote strategically. If you think that RFK has a chance to win the Democratic primary, so you register Democrat to go vote for him to spite Biden, more's the better for you. But I just don't bother with that because I know that Leviathan is not interested in reform. That's it. All right. What scene are we in now? Are we in this one?
We're going to
finale. Yeah, we are in this one. All right.
Okay, cool.
Guys, we're going to be back to wrap up the show right after this commercial break. Don't go away. If you're enjoying tonight's show, consider supporting the program by becoming a member of our Patreon. That's over at patreon.com/Alan Mosley. Like our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Alan Mosley TV. You can follow me on Twitter. It's twitter.com/Alan Mosley TV. Subscribe to our YouTube page. It's youtube.com/Alan Mosley TV. I don't even have a button for this. Let me see if this works. Oh my God, it did work. Look at that. If you're more of a listener than a watcher, we're talking about you, Robert. You can get us on iTunes, Apple, Google, Spotify, and more. Thanks to Spotify Podcasts. Just search for It's Too Late with Alan Mosley. Dave, do you have a final thought?
You know, if I'm on the wrong one. Here we go. If I knew that you could have just been doing the transitions, that would take a lot of stress off of me. You know, I'd be more free to just be in the moment and, you know, add to the show.
Yeah, I like how the producer off screen has to be more in the moment and not the person. All right. We're not going to do that. Last week some people were upset that mom and dad were fighting.
Worried.
So we're not doing that this week. All right.
We're good. Everything's good.
After party?
Yeah, quick one. Real quick.
Yeah. Well, we'd like it to be quick, but our after party content keeps on piling up. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching another episode of It's Too Late, and we will see you next week.
So we're gonna have a staff meeting, aren't we? Another one. It's me.
Someone's about to get kicked from the channel again.
Oh.
Are we still doing this only on Twitch, the after party?
I prefer that because that's when I kind of let loose.
Jesus Christ, Lyle!